Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to make a video to try to help out for the folks down in Texas that aren't used to this cold weather. I live here in northern Vermont, and as you can see with the icicles hanging off our building here, we are very much used to cold weather, and we're very much used to being in situations where we can't get to where warmth is. You see them snowbanks out there. We got a lot of snow. So yeah, if you're ever in a situation where you have no heat, besides having heater buddies and stuff like that, a lot of people don't have money. They don't have enough money to have, buy heater buddies and stuff like that, or wood stoves. This is a wood stove right here. It's a little teeny wood stove. It cost about 125 bucks. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you a few things that you can do. What are you doing? Scratching me, you. You get taken care of. You don't have to worry about it. If you have any old newspaper, like this right here laying around, take that newspaper, tuck your pants into your socks, take that newspaper, rip it up into shreds, and pack your clothes full of that newspaper. Newspaper is a great insulator. This is what we used to use when we built houses before insulation. You tear down a lot of the old houses around here and they've got newspapers in the walls because it's great insulation. It works really good. A lot of people have them laying around, lots of them. And it works really, really good. If you have sawdust, I know it's going to be itchy, pack your clothes full of sawdust. Or, like me, if you're a pack rat like me, you have these old bread bags. Pack the sawdust in these bread bags. Again, pull the socks over your pants, stick these in your pants, and it's insulation, it's good insulation too. But I'll tell you another good way, and if, like down in Texas, you guys don't get frost in the ground like we do here in Vermont. So what I would suggest doing is starting a fire and get some stones. Once that fire's going and it's got a lot of coals in it, you put them stones. Don't use cinder blocks or brick because they'll pop and they'll split open and they'll shatter. Rocks can too. I'm not telling you to put the rocks right in the middle of the flame, but put it next to the flame. And then while you're doing that, dig a hole a little bit, a little ways next to the fire, and bury them rocks when they're red hot. Really? Okay. And put them rocks inside that hole, cover it up, and get a tarp and sit on that ground. And I'm telling you right now, that's how the cowboys used to take care of themselves in the cold. And it worked well, If you have a tarp, grab the family, start a fire, put rocks all around that fire, and then when, wait a half hour or something, and then take a shovel and scoot them rocks into that hole, put sand over that hole, and take the tarp and get your family and wrap your family around that tarp and sit on that ground where them hot rocks are buried. You will survive. It will be warm. You may have to get up and do it a few times, but you will survive. You will not freeze to death. And then, if worse comes to worse, you can have a 3-dog night, right? Right, Bella? You're not a very big dog, but if you've got 2 or 3 dogs, get the dogs in bed with you too. They call a 3-dog night for a reason, because back in the olden days, a lot of these people, even if they had a potbelly stove in their house, they'd still be cold. So they call the dogs into bed with them, and they get a 3-dog night. In Vermont, you have to come up with pretty, ingenious ways to keep warm. And if you've got snow like this, if you're getting snow like this, build yourself an igloo. And then in the middle of that igloo in the ground, dig yourself a hole and bring the rocks in and cover them rocks up with the dirt and stay in the igloo. And you will survive. You will not freeze to death. It's good for below zero weather. I'm telling you, it will work. I can't believe Everybody, I've seen a lot of suggestions. I mean, I can't believe it. People just don't think when they're out in dire straits because your mind's frazzled and you're everywhere. And, newspaper is a great insulator as well as the sawdust. But yeah, the old rock trick in the ground from the fire, this is what the Indians did too. They had their teepees and they would dig a hole and, they'd put rocks around the fire. They would bring the rocks inside the teepee, and they would bury them in the ground, and they would sleep on the rocks, and they would keep them warm all night long. Not only would it keep them warm, it would bring heat into the teepee. People think that they always had a fire in the middle of the teepee, and that's what the whole, well, they probably did, but that's not very safe, and it's not very realistic. A lot of the Indians brought rocks in. And if they did have a fire, it was a very, very small fire. And you could do that too as well, believe it or not, if you had to build yourself an igloo. I wouldn't suggest it if you have a tarp because plastic will burn, catch you on fire. You know the rest. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. But I was just sitting here thinking to myself, how could I, bring some suggestions to the table to try to help a little bit. And I got some other things that I'm coming up with. I'm still thinking. Still thinking because I really want to try to help people. Because you shouldn't have to die. You shouldn't have to be left without options. And not everybody's been put into survival situations. We're going to be going off grid here in 2 months. All of this apartment and stuff, we're not going to be here anymore. We're going to be in the woods, and we are not going to have any phones. We're not going to have anything. We're just going to have this little teeny wood stove that's in this box. The cat, the dog, the girlfriend, or the wife, and me. And it doesn't take much to survive. It really doesn't. You just have to have some imagination and, sometimes a little help. I hope, this helps a little bit. It's not a lot of information, but it's a little bit of information that might just help. You never know. I hope everybody's doing good. This is the first time we've seen sun, and I don't know how long. Let me see if I can get a shot of this, guys. Look at the icicles on this house right here. And these are small. I went to St. Albans today, and I saw some that were like twice as long as that. They would go down to where's my finger here? They'd go down to that window right there. That's how long they would go. Like almost 2 stories. I've knocked these off a couple times, and since then they've grown back. But we have got some serious snow. I'll tell you. It's going to get 40 degrees this week, and we're just one good hot day in a rainstorm from being in a flood. And that always happens here too. We know it. It's coming. But hope everybody's doing good, and I hope the little bit of information that I put out was good information. And I feel bad for you guys in Texas. I really do. But the times, they are changing. And got to kind of roll with the punches and figure out things to have stashed away, stored, either whether it's in the house or in the brain. Take care, everybody. Seriously. As they say back in the olden days, love, peace, chicken grease. Take care.